Hi everyone. For a real number a, our a is a fraction. It's a positive fraction in between 0 and 1. We have x equals a squared plus 1 divided by a squared. And we're going to express a square root of x plus 2 minus square root of x minus 2 as a polynomial in a. So basically, let's go ahead and just rewrite this, and we're going to substitute our x here into this. So we're going to get the square root of 8x is a squared plus 1 divided by a squared, and then we still have this plus 2. And then subtract and do the same thing. So we have a squared plus 1 divided by a squared, and then we have minus 2. All right, so simplifying this, this has these forms here, especially if you write it as a squared plus 2 plus 1 divided by a squared. And the same thing with the minus. So I can write this as equals to the square root of a plus 1 divided by a squared, because that gives you your 2ab. Your 2ab would be 2 times a squared times 1 divided by a squared. So that's why it's just 2, because these will cancel out and give you just the 2. All right, and then the same thing here, except we have a minus here. So this is going to be a minus. All right, so this is going to be a minus 1 divided by a squared. All right, simplifying this, we're going to get the absolute value of a plus 1 divided by a minus absolute value of a minus 1 divided by a. Now what we have to note here is that since a is less than 0, or greater than 0 but less than 1, then if you do 1 divided by a, that has to be greater than 1. All right, because a fraction, if you have a is a fraction, then if you switch it, like if a was 1/2, say, then 1 divided by 1/2 equals 2. So that gives you greater than 1. Therefore, we have, let's see, we have a plus 1 divided by a is positive, and a minus 1 divided by a is negative. And again, that's because my a is in between 0 and 1, and my 1 divided by a is greater than 1. All right, so if this is bigger than this number, then this is going to be a negative. All right, so now we have this equals a plus 1 divided by a plus a minus 1 divided by a. And if you simplify this, you get 2a plus 1 divided by a minus 1 divided by a. So our final answer is just going to be 2a. And just keep in mind, before we had this was absolute value of a plus 1 divided by a minus absolute value of a minus 1 divided by a. But since this was negative, I changed this to a positive. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.